Hello, I'm Patty Ling, and welcome to our Conversations with Artists series. The purpose of this is to spotlight deaf artists who have contributed their work for our fundraising auction. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Jessica Arevalo. Jessica? Hello. My passion for art began when I was little. I'd say between the ages of 3 and 4, and I have my parents to thank for my early exposure to art. It was at this age that they discovered I was deaf, and although they were beginning to learn sign language, they still needed a way to communicate with me. So this led to my early exposure to art, as they would communicate with me by the use of art. If I had to go to the doctors, they would draw it out for me sitting in the office and going through the motions of going to the doctor's appointment. And the same went for going to school and riding the school bus. I believe this was the moment I fell in love with art, and it continued throughout my life. I studied graphic design at the Rochester Institute of Technology and graduated with my Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree. After graduating, I eventually started my own graphic designing business. At this point, I purchased an iPad Pro and began dabbling more into the art side of business and found myself completely enamored with it. I taught myself Illustrator and saw that while graphic designing was good for the business side of things, art and drawing was a source of enjoyment for me. So I continued to work on both simultaneously. As you can see, the concept of my California Poppies piece, which was just shown, was largely based on my being born and raised in California. I've spent my entire life here. It wasn't until I went off to college that I realized how much of California was in my heart. California was my home. I missed it terribly, and I struggled with homesickness throughout my years away at school. After I graduated, I learned that there was something called seasonal affective disorder, which was more than just feeling blue or feeling down and out. It was something very real and very serious, and it was what I was suffering from while away in college. It was amazing to me to see how the weather could have such an effect on your mental and emotional health. So the goal with the California Poppies piece was to give people something that they could place on their walls and something to be able to look at, to be reminded of home. It could serve as a source of comfort. Another reason for that design is my love of nature. I find it to be fascinating and inspiring. Nature helps to improve my mood, and it proves to be beneficial to my mental and emotional health as well. I love that about California. There's so much beauty here, from the beaches to the flowers, and the poppy happens to be one of my favorite flowers. The vibrant orange colors are amazing to see. I find it especially helpful when I'm stressed or feeling overwhelmed, and even now in dealing with the COVID pandemic, it's been helpful for me to be able to just get out, disconnect from technology, take a breather, even if it's just for 5 minutes. It does wonders for me. That's part of the inspiration for that piece of art. For the process of creating this actually started with the app Procreate on the iPad Pro. I started with my draft and creating the California Poppies artwork. The app is very user-friendly. It's fast, fun, and easy to edit. I started the process with an outline draft and then added colors and textures. And that really added more to the artwork. It gave it dimension and depth. And once I put the finishing touches on it, I transferred it to my computer and used Adobe Illustrator to edit the sizing and the format so that it would be the best quality print. And once it was good to go, I placed the order and my artwork was printed. Well, the California poppies aren't my only piece of nature-inspired art. I have artwork featuring a bouquet of marigolds in a jar, reflective of the Mexican culture. I also have artwork that features a forest of sea kelp, which were inspired by the beaches of California. And there are other pieces highlighting nature in other states, such as the rose, which is the state flower of New York. You can find a variety of items for sale other than my prints on my Etsy shop. These other items include things like lapel pins, stickers, cards, and much more. I'm constantly creating and constantly adding to my collection.